Very good morning, dear children. Let's start our today's class with a prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. Dear children, we are going to see the remaining part of our 18th lesson. That's from animal tissues. Let's see the lesson detailing. An assemblage of one or more types of specialized cells held together with extracellular material constitute the tissue. The study of tissues is known as histology. Tissues can be divided as simple tissue and compound tissue. What are simple tissue? A group of cells that are similar in origin, form, structure and work together to perform a specific function are known as simple tissues. A group of cells different in their structure and function but coordinate to perform a specific function are known as compound tissues. Animal tissues can be grouped into 4 basic types on the basis of their structure and functions, namely epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue and nervous tissue. In this video, we are going to see all the 4 types detailing. First, let's see epithelial tissues and their subdivisions. It is the simplest tissue composed of one or more layers of cells covering the external surface of the body and internal organs. The cells are arranged very close to each other with less extracellular material. Epithelial cells lie on a non-cellular basement membrane. The epithelial tissue generally lacks blood vessels. The epithelium is separated by the underlying connective tissue which provides it with nutrients. There are 2 types of epithelial tissues. Simple epithelium is composed of single layer of cells resting on a basement membrane. Compound epithelium is composed of several layers of cells. Only the cells of the deepest layer rest on the basement membrane. Let's see the function of epithelial tissues first. There are 4 main functions of epithelial tissues: protection, absorption, excretion and secretory function. Let's see them detailing. The skin which form the outer covering of the body protects the underlying cells from drying, injury and microbial infections. Thus, it protects the other parts of the body. They help in absorption of water and nutrients. So, the second job is over. Third one is excretion. They are involved in elimination of waste protection. Thus, it take part in excretion process. Some epithelial tissues perform secretory function, that is secretion of sweat, saliva, mucus and enzyme. Let's see simple epithelium at first. It is formed of simple layer of cells. It is formed a lining for the body cavity and ducts. Simple epithelium is further divided into following types: squamous epithelium, cuboidal epithelium. The squamous epithelium, we are going to see it now. It is made up of thin flat cells with prominent nuclei. These cells have irregular boundaries and bind with neighboring cells. The squamous epithelium is also known as pavement membrane, which form delicate lining of the buccal cavity. This is the oral cavity, buccal cavity. Alveoli of lungs. This is alveoli of lungs. Proximal tubule of kidneys. This is the proximal tubule of kidney. What is the proximal tubule? Proximal tubule, it is the segment of nephron in kidney which begins from the renal poles of the Bowman capsule to the beginning of the loop of Henle, which is in pink color. Beginning of the loop of the Henle to the renal capsule, that is in blue color, is the proximal tubule of the kidney. Okay. So, in these places we can see the squamous epithelium. It protects the body from the mechanical injury, drying and invasion of germs. Next we need to see about, this is simple squamous epithelial cell. Microscopic view of simple squamous epithelial cell. This is how in the skin part the simple squamous epithelial cell will be. Next we need to see about simple cuboid cell. Simple cuboid epithelium, you can see the which is the figures shown in the book is outline or diagram of these cells. Now you might not see the microscopic view, that's why I am showing you this microscopic view. You can draw the picture as shown in the textbook itself. It is composed of single layer of cubic cells. The nucleus is round and lies in the center. This tissue is present in the thyroid vessels, salivary glands, sweat glands and exocrine pancreas. It is also found in the intestine and tubular part of the nephron, that is kidney tubules, and microvilli that increase the absorptive surface area. Their main function is secretion and absorption. This picture is shown in your textbook. This is simple columnary epithelium. The third kind of simple epithelium, that is columnar epithelium. It is composed of a single layer of slender, elongated and pillar-like cells. Their nuclei are located at the base. It is found lining the stomach, gallbladder, bile duct, small intestine, colon, oviduct and also form the mucous membrane. They are mainly involved in secretion and absorption. Next, ciliated epithelium. This ciliated epithelium cells, certain columnar cells bear numerous dedicated hair-like outgrowing called cilia and are called ciliated epithelium. Their function is to move particles or mucus in a specific direction over the epithelium. It is seen in the trachea of the windpipe, bronchioles of respiratory tracts, kidney tubules and fallopian tubes of oviduct. This is ciliated epithelium. You can see cilia in this microscopic view, which is similar to a diagram in your book. This is human glandular epithelium. Next we need to see about this one, glandular epithelium. Epithelial cells are often modified to form specialized gland cells which secrete chemical substances at the epithelial surface. This lines the gastric glands, pancreatic tubules and intestinal glands. This is how the microscopic view of human glandular epithelium. Next we need to see about compound epithelium. Its compound epithelium, it consists of more than one layer of cells and gives a stratified appearance. Hence, they are also known as stratified epithelium. The main function of this epithelium is to give protection to the underlying tissues against mechanical and chemical stress. They also cover the dry surface of the skin, the moist surface of the buccal cavity and buccal cavity of the throat and pharynx. Next we need to see about connective tissues. Connective tissues, it is one of the most abundant and widely distributed tissues. First we have seen about epithelial tissues. Next we are going to see about connective tissues, then muscular tissue, then nervous tissue. The second one is connective tissue. It provides structural framework and gives support to different tissue forming organs. It prevents the organs from getting displaced by body movement. Tissues that support, protect and give structure to the other tissues and organs in the body are connective tissues. Connective tissues also store fat, helps repair damaged cells. Connective tissue is made up of cells, fibers and gel-like substances. The component of the connective tissues are the intercellular substances known as the matrix, connective tissue cells and fibers. Connective tissue is classified as follows. Connective tissue proper, that is aerosol and adipose tissue. Supportive connective tissue, that is cartilage and bones. Dense connective tissues, tendons and ligaments. Fluid connective tissue, blood and lymph. Let's see the types one by one. First, let's see the connective tissue proper. This is the microscopic view of connective tissue. This is how the tissues are connected. This is connective tissue proper. Connective tissue proper consists of collagens, fibers, elastin fibers and fibroblast. Areolar tissue, it has cells and fibers loosely arranged in a semi-fluid. This is one connective tissue proper. So, areolar tissue is the first one. It has cells and fibers loosely arranged in a semi-fluid ground substance called matrix. It takes the form of fine threads crossing each other in every direction, leaving small space called areolae. It joins skin to muscles, fills space inside organs and is found around muscles, blood vessels and nerves. It helps in repair of tissue after injury and fixes tissue, that is skin, to underlying muscles. Adipose tissue. Adipose tissue is the aggregation of fat cells and adipocytes, spherical or oval in shape. It serves as fat reservoir. They are found in subcutaneous tissues between internal organs around the heart and kidney. They act as shock absorbers around the kidney and eyeball. They also regulate body temperature by acting as insulators. Next, we need to see about supportive connective tissue. The supporting or skeletal connecting tissue forms the endoskeleton of the vertebrate body, which protect various organs and help in locomotion. The supportive tissues include cartilage and bone. Cartilage, they are soft, semi-rigid, flexible and are less vascular in nature. The matrix is composed of large cartilage cells called chondrocytes. These cells are present in fluid-filled space known as lacunae. Cartilage is present in the tip of the nose, external ear, end of the long bone, trachea and larynx. It provides support and flexibility to the body parts. Next, bones, I have shown in the figure. It is solid, rigid and strong, non-flexible skeletal connective tissue. The matrix of the bone is rich in calcium salt and collagen fibers, which gives the bone its strength. The matrix of the bone is in the form of concentric ring called lamellae. The bone cells, you may call it as lamellae or lamellae. Lamellae, the bone cell present in lacunae are called osteocytes. They communicate with each other by a network of fine canals called canaliculi. The hollow cavity of spaces are called marrow cavity filled with bone marrow. They provide shape and structural framework to the body. Bones support and protect soft tissues and organs. Next, dense connective tissue. This is dense connective tissue figure. It is a fibrous connective tissue densely packed with fibers and fibroblasts. It is the principal component of tendons and ligaments. Tendons, they are cord-like strong structure that join skeletal muscles to bones. Tendons have great strength and limited flexibility. They consist of parallel bundles of collagen fibers between which are present rows of fibroblasts. Ligaments, they are highly elastic structures and have great strength which connect bones to bone. They contain very little matrix. They strengthen the joints and allow normal movement. Next, we need to see about fluid connective tissue. The blood and the lymph are the fluid connective tissues which link different parts of the body. The cells of the connective tissues are loosely spaced and are embedded in an intercellular matrix. Blood contains corpuscles which are red blood cells, that is erythrocyte, white blood cells, leukocytes and platelets. In this fluid connective tissue, blood cells are present in a fluid called plasma. The plasma contains inorganic salts and organic substances. It is a main circulating fluid that helps in the transport of nutrient substances. Let's see about red blood cells, that is RBC. First, let's see about red blood cells. Other name for red blood cells are erythrocyte. The red blood corpuscles are circular, biconcave, disc-like cells and lack nucleus when mature. That is in mammalian or BC. When the nucleus matured, when the red blood cells matured, the nucleus will be absent. In that place, hemoglobin will be replaced. They contain a respiratory pigment called hemoglobin, which is involved in the transport of oxygen to tissue. Next, we need to see about WBC, that is white blood corpuscles. Other name for WBC is leukocyte. They are larger in size, contain distinct nucleus and are colorless. They are capable of amoeboid movement and play an important role in body's defense mechanism. They engulf or destroy foreign bodies. WBCs are of two types, granulocytes and agranulocytes. Granulocytes have irregular shaped nuclei and cytoplasmic granules. They include the neutrophil, basophil, eosinophil. Agranulocytes lack cytoplasmic granules and include the lymphocyte and monocyte. These measurements for human will be shown in your regular blood test. You can go through the blood test if any family members take the test. Okay. Next, blood platelets. They are minute unnucleate fragile fragment of giant bone marrow called megakaryocytes. They play an important role in blood clotting mechanism. Next, we need to see about lymphs. Lymph is a circular, colorless fluid filtered out of blood capillaries. It consists of plasma and white blood cells. It mainly helps in the exchange of materials between blood and tissue fluid. So, this is how the elements of bloods are shown. See. Next, we need to see about muscular tissues. Muscular tissues are made up of muscle cells and form a major part of contractile tissues. They are composed of numerous myofibrils. Each muscle is made up of many long cylindrical fibers arranged parallel to one another. According to their structure, location and functions, there are three main types of muscles: skeletal muscle, striated muscle, smooth muscle, or non-striated muscle, and cardiac muscle. Let's see skeletal muscle. This is skeletal muscle. These muscles are attached to the bones and are responsible for the body movement and are called skeletal muscles. They work under our control and are also known as voluntary muscles. The muscle fibers are elongated, cylindrical, and branched with alternating dark and light bands, giving them the striped or striated appearance. They possess many nuclei, that is multinucleate. For example, they occur in the biceps and triceps of arms and undergo rapid contraction. Next, we need to see about smooth muscles. These muscles are spindle shaped with broad middle part and tapering ends. There is a single centrally located nucleus. These fibers do not bear any stripes and hence are called non-striated. They are not under the control of our will and so are called involuntary muscles. The walls of the internal organs such as the blood vessels, gastric glands, intestinal villi and urinary bladder contain this type of smooth muscles. Next, cardiac muscles. It is a special contractile tissue present in the heart. The muscle fibers are cylindrical, branched and uninucleate. The branches join to form a network called as intercalated disc, which are unique distinguishing feature of the cardiac muscle. The contraction of cardiac muscle is involuntary and rhythmic. So, these are the types of muscles and muscle tissues. Okay. Next, we need to see about nervous tissue. This is the structure of a neuron. Nervous tissue comprises of nerve cells of neurons. They are the longest cell of the body. Neurons are the structural and functional unit of the nervous tissue. The elongated and slender processes of the neuron are the nerve fibers. Each neuron consists of a cell body or cyton with nucleus and cytoplasm. The dendron are short and highly branched protoplasmic processes of cyton. The axon is a single long fiber-like process that develops from cyton and ends up with the fine terminal branches. They have the ability to receive stimuli from within or outside the body and send signals to different parts of the body. The nerve cell do not undergo cell division due to the absence of centrioles, but they are developed from glial cells by neurogenesis. That is the process of cell division in neurons.